Carson house. Son house. Ever wonder you have given a job to look out a house? One day, the owner was not at home. You are alone in that huge house, completely silent, when suddenly a stranger broke into your house and you don't know what to do. The stranger thought you were the owner and stabbed you a few times in your chest. Well, if you have, then you are already sincere, but the rest of you, keep watching the video because you are about to find out very soon. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Fears to Fathom. If you don't know what Fears to Fathom is, it is an episodic horror game made by Rail Studios. In this game, your most horrible and fearful stories of your life are shown in visuals. This is the third episode of this game. If you want to see the previous episode, it's in my channel. Go check it out. Without talking any more further, let's dive into this game. Fears to Fathom, Episode 3, Carson House, September 24. Meet Noah. He is a 28-year-old boy from the Midwest. He wants to tell us this story because he thinks it can be a lesson for you. Despite the terribleness of the incident, he still wants to remember it forever because it dictated a major part of his life. 10 years ago, his father gave him a job to look out a person's house. That person promised him $100 for this job, and so he accepted the job because he wanted to know how money magically appears in his pocket. His dad drove him to that house. Unfortunately, he was very drunk that night and accidentally dropped me in a dry cleaner. As it was raining, I decided to stay inside and do something else, like drinking a soda. But the vending machines were just for showcase. When I realized I was the only person in here, I decided to enter their employees' only basement to reveal their deepest, darkest secrets. However, in that room, I found nothing but washing machines. But suddenly things started to become creepy. As I walked further, my player started to act like he was drunk. But what made the situation creepier was the infinitive line of vending machines, as like a black magic was repeating the same thing over and over again. After running for a long time, I suddenly found the manager and told him that I will reveal the secret of this place. But for some reason he could say nothing other than bleach. I asked him few questions, but he only cares about his bleach. Suddenly that manager turned out to be my father, asking me to wake up from a parallel dimension. My screen turned black and I woke up in my car and realized all of that was just a dream. Anyways, he asked me again if I could do the job or not. I told him that I could do the job and also I was there just for snacks. Then he told me that the door keys were under a fake rock in the backyard. I got out of the car and our player's first impression was that it was really nice neighborhood. There was only one person in my contract and I didn't know who he was. Anyways, since I was in charge that night, I considered the house mine. I opened the door and remembered that I forgot the keys. I went to the backyard and realized that the backyard was way better than the house. I pet the dog and started looking for the fake rock. Unfortunately, his dad did told him where the keys were, but forgot to tell where the fake rock was. The fake rock was so realistic that it took me 10 minutes to find it. Anyways, I finally found the fake rock and the keys. Now I can finally consider the house mine. I entered the house and it was very huge. So, I decided to explore it by opening random doors. And the first door I opened was the bathroom. Anyways, I was expecting something better. I had to take a bathroom break and for some reason I had to see myself peeing. After the pee I got a message from a person named 15137563844. As it was unknown to me, I completely ignored him. Suddenly the unknown person revealed his identity and it turned out to be my boss. He told me that he left Zeke in the woods who was very sick, and I promised him to take care of Zeke. For a second I thought Zeke was an actual person, but he turned out to be the dog that I petted earlier. Anyways, my boss ordered me to feed him dog food from the basement. As I was a good boy, I decided to obey every command he gave. I entered the basement and unfortunately it was too dark. So, I had to find a torch to complete that mission. My boss told me find the torch in the storage room. Since I wasn't familiar with the house yet, I started opening doors again. Then I found this door which says do not disturb for any reason, which gave me the feeling that something strange was going in the house and it needs to be revealed. However, the door was locked from the other side. So, I opened another door and I realized that my boss was also a YouTuber just like me, but more rich and expensive. Anyways, I used some of his stuff and went outside with the other door, which turned out to be the same door that I couldn't open earlier. Well, I am at least glad to know that nothing wrong is going on in this house. I checked a few more rooms and realized there was also a second floor with many doors still left to be opened. I opened a random door and for some reason it was bathroom again. Anyways, I found the storage and it was dark too. I still managed to find the torch and now I can finally complete my mission. When I used the torch I realized the basement was really big. Since boss didn't specifically give the location of dog food, I had to search for another 10 minutes. During that search I realized that my boss was spying on me all the time. I finally found the dog food in one corner. I took it to the dog and tried to feed him, but the game was a bit too realistic and told me to open the can first. I went to the kitchen and found a tool to open it. Unfortunately, I never used this tool before and I didn't found any tutorial, so I had to figure it out. Besides how hard this game can be. Anyways, after a long time I finally figured it out, fed the dog and completed my mission. Rest in peace. But later I realized that was just only one mission. Then my boss gave me another job, and that one went a bit further. He told me to fix his computer from viruses as he heard that I was a computer wizard, which by the way I am. He gave me his computer password and I was right on it. However, he didn't told me where the computer was. So, I had to open doors again, and this thing couldn't become any harder to find.
Hour later.
I checked all the rooms of the house and for some reason the last room I checked was the room I was looking for. Why this thing always happens? Anyways, I went in and realized that his desktop was better than mine. I started the computer and typed the passcode he gave and for some reason it didn't work. I finally managed to hack into his system. Also, is it just me, or his desktop kind of looks like Windows XP? Then I tried to open something but every application was contaminated with virus except for the web browser, from where I could download an antivirus. Which was weird because what would happen if the browser didn't work too? Anyways, I installed the antivirus, gave his system a quick scan, removed all the viruses, and completed the second mission too. Then my boss thanked me for it and promised to give me a nice tip, which was pretty generous of him. In the meantime, I managed to hack into his security cameras. 10 cameras all over the house with night vision gave me full control over the house and nothing could hide from me. Few moments later, my other friend wanted to watch a cooking show with me. So, I went downstairs and turned on the TV. The cooking show started and it was very weird for some reason.
Cooking with Jeffrey. I'm Jeffrey. And today we are cooking cat food. I love me cat food. It's my favorite dish. It's super enjoyable and healthy. Doesn't that just look delicious? We can't eat this. It's raw. So first, we are going to gently pour the cat food onto this conveniently placed pan on a stove. Listen to the sizzle. Like a baby suckling upon a mother's bosom. Oh, lucky baby. Okay, now while that's cooking, we can work on an appetizer. I will be preparing what's known as a piece of cardboard dipped in milk. We will need a piece of cardboard, a glass, and some milk. To start, we poured the milk into the glass.
However, when I was enjoying a show, boss gave me my third job, and this one was a bit too far. He wants me to go to the grocery store and do shopping for him in the middle of the night. Besides, when I will go out, no one will look after the house. What's the point to hiring me then? And why the ad in the background is so weird? Hear it properly.
Hello, I'm the hand merchant. Buy some hands. Don't have hands? I'll give you hands. Got too many hands to handle? I'll take them. I got the best hands. Only the highest quality hands for you. Got too many fingers? I'll take them. Not enough fingers? I'll give you more fingers. People love hands. They're great. I got so much hands. Amazing hands. I'll sell you good quality hands. Come on down today to buy some hands. I have nice hands.
Also, before continuing this video, I want to tell you that if you liked my editing back there, then I will appreciate it if you press the like button. Because making a video is very hard. Recording, editing, rendering, and publishing all takes me a lot of time. So, I will be very grateful if you support this channel, and with that support I will make more editing like that and maybe even better. So, like this video, don't forget to subscribe and share. Now, back to the video. Anyways, since I'm here to work for him, I got right onto it. I took the money from his drawer as he told me to do so, pet his dog, and started my journey to the grocery store. However, I thought I will walk, but boss gave me permission to use his son's bicycle, because he knows I am a very good rider. That was not my fault. After a long black screen, I finally reached the grocery store. I parked my bike, got into the store, and checked the list again. So, I have total 9 items to buy. I will put a screenshot of the list in the left corner just to make sure it's convenient to see for all of you. Then I started looking for the items. Unfortunately, the game was very realistic and there were no check marks for each item's location. So, I had to check each and every item to find what I need. Luckily, I found a basket to put my items. First, I took milk and eggs, then the chocolate, then the honey. And when I was doing this, I suddenly met 2 of the players' school friends. They instantly started talking with me. I mostly didn't understand what were they talking about, but they were talking about a girl who bought lots of soda cans from the store. It was very strange, so I totally ignored them. But then something even stranger happened. When I was looking for other items, my current item suddenly disappeared, which gave me the feeling that this grocery store was haunted. But even worse was that I had to find all the items again. Anyways, I finally found all the items and managed to buy them. This was the most hardest mission of the game. I rode back to home, hoped that I'm not lost, put the groceries in the kitchen and took a pee break. I was wondering if the cooking show was still going on, so I turned on the TV. But I realized it ended by that time. So, I turned off the TV and went to do my homework. And when I was focused to do my homework, one of my friends found a worse time to send me a message. For some reason, he was asking me to search my boss's divorce in the internet. I was eager, so I did search my boss's divorce in the internet and found an article. I read the whole article and understood that my boss broke up with his wife a few days ago, who is a celebrity. The fans of his wife were very mad about this and started sending death threats to my boss. It even said that strangers come to his house and knocked his door. And just when I read that sentence, a stranger knocked in my door. Now this is where things become creepy. I understood that was a red alarm and someone was here to kill him. I had to check the doors, but I remembered I can check the security cameras. I checked the front door camera and I realized it was a stranger after all. But this time he didn't look like my grandfather. Then things became even more creepier. As I was worried to open the doors, I took a long time to make a decision. Until I finally gave up and let the game do whatever it wants to make happen. I talked with person without opening the door, and it turned out to be pizza delivery guy, a very classic disguise. I told him that he was in the wrong location, but he proved that he was in the right address and even told my boss's name. I tried to make him go away, but at the end I had to give up. I knew something was wrong here. But when I opened the door and took the pizza, he seemed a very nice person. He requested me if he could stay in the house as it was raining, but I had no option to help the poor guy. In the end, I realized that it was an actual pizza guy and I wasted a lot of time. I turned on the TV, started eating the pizza, but one thing stuck in my head, that who even ordered the pizza. Few moments later, my boss messaged me that he ordered the pizza for me as a prize for my work. Then I remembered that he was supposed to give me a nice tip, but I was still mad at him because he wasted a lot of time and almost gave me a heart attack. However, few moments later I heard another knock from the door. I realized another person had come to waste my time again. So, I ignored him and finished my pizza. I checked the security camera again, and there was no one in the front door. I thought he had left, but I noticed something on the ground. I opened the door and found a bag of flowers. I thought my boss had been sending me gifts for my work, but as I was angry on him, I trashed his flowers and went upstairs to do my homework. When suddenly an unknown sender started messaging me, so I completely ignored him and finally started my homework. Besides, what could go wrong at that moment? But I was completely wrong. When I was in the middle of my homework, in the middle of the night, the electricity decided to just go away for no reason, but for some reason the dog was shouting outside. And why the unknown sender keeps sending me messages? And what is he even talking about? Who is he? I asked him, but he didn't reply. I assumed that someone from school was joking with me. However, in one moment I realized that I could still use the computer when there is no electricity, which was kind of strange. But it was even more stranger that the dog stopped shouting. I thought something had happened to him. So, I went outside to check on him. I heard him still barking and went to calm him down. But then I noticed something strange. The lever of the electricity was down, which could only mean that someone had cut the power for a purpose. The dog calmed down and I went back to homework. Then the unknown sender gave me another message and told me that we were still supposed to be friends. At that point, I had a feeling that he was sending me a message for a reason. I started doing my homework again when suddenly I heard something downstairs. I checked the security camera and saw that something was different about the studio room. At that moment, I realized someone was in my house. So, I checked the house, but found no one. I continued my homework and this time I heard something from the kitchen. I checked the security again and saw the oven turned on. This time I was completely sure that someone had broken into my house. I turned off the oven, but still didn't find anyone, which kind of made me feel uncomfortable. The player was assuming that it was his friend playing tricks with him, so he messaged another friend to tell him stay out of it. But what he replied was completely shocking. He told me that the friend I was suspecting was with him that time, which made me even more uncomfortable, and I was sure something terrible was about to happen very soon. So, I kept my full eyes on the security cameras for any eventful matters, until I saw something that actually shocked me. There was a woman in my house and that was not safe at all, and the worst part was that she was coming near my room. So, I hide myself in one corner and wait until she leaves. Few moments later, I checked the cameras again and she was right outside my door. She knew I was here. For some reason, she started to talk with me, and we had a conversation. With that conversation, I had a full understanding what was happening here. Let me tell you in a brief. So the girl that came to kill me was my ex-girlfriend, and the person that was in my contract when I started the game was my current girlfriend. Just because I broke up with my old girlfriend, she became mad at me. She wanted us to be couple again, but I rejected that proposal, so she sneaked into my house knowing that I was alone. From this amount of story, I hope we all learned that why you shouldn't have a girlfriend. I told her that I will call the police. Then she told me that if I do so, she will kill both of us. And suddenly she stopped knocking at the door. I checked the camera again, but she was still there. Then she told me that she would kill me right now. Then she suddenly disappeared. I thought I was safe in this room because she can't get in here, but she managed to break into my room and started dancing for some reason. Anyways, I had no idea what would I do at that moment. At the end, she finally managed to stab me with a knife. And my game ended right there. I realized I lost the game and that was a bad ending. So, I decided to try that part again. But this time, I will escape from the house and save myself. So here is the plan. I noticed that after she ends her conversation, she steps away from the door for a few seconds. Using that time, I will run into the next room of the floor. I will disconnect the microphone so that I can keep full silence. And when she comes back and enters the other room, I will run for the front door with my life. And this is how I escaped from that house. But the story didn't end there. The police arrived to save me but didn't find her in the house. Luckily, our player knew where she lived. He started giving her identity. Her name was Kara. When she was in relation with the player, she used to take heavy drugs. So, our player left her for good, and she was mad about this. And this is why she came that day to kill him. When the police reached her home and asked her about it, she tried to fool the police, but she forgot that our player had security footage as proof. The police discovered that she was heavily intoxicated that night and put her to jail for a long while. And this is how I saved the player's life and gave a good ending. Now I hope you realize how it feels like to be alone and unguarded in someone else's house. So, always stay sincere. Anyways, that was Fears to Fathom Episode 3 Carson House. I took a long time playing this episode. I was supposed to play it under 40 minutes, but I think I took more than 4 hours. I hope I didn't spend too much time, and I hope you liked this video and learned something. If you have, then like the video, and if you haven't, don't touch anything. As always, share the video if you want others to see this. Don't forget to subscribe and support the channel. Leave a comment, and I will see you in the next episode of Fears to Fathom.